Alright guys, welcome to Flower Rihanna's MMA show. I'm your host, Flower Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. Guys, like I said, I was going to bring out another video. Look, I went to bed early. I went to bed like around 10 something at night. And I wake up and I wanted to check on social media to see what was going on, right? See if I missed anything. And Dana White makes an announcement for UFC 300. I'm like, alright, great, this might be what he was talking about for the main event, right? Nope, it is not for the main event. For all we know, this could possibly be on the main card of UFC 300, right? But I don't think it's going to be on the main. It's nowhere near for the main event, right? The UFC is going to place Holly Holm, right? On I believe on the main card. And I know you guys are probably, groaning like, oh my god, like why we got to deal with this lady? She's no fun, and I'll be honest, she's not a fighter that I want to go out of my way and watch, all right? Because lately she has been, very heavily defense oriented, wrestling oriented, and she wants to just lay on top of you and, just grapple and, hold position, right? And that's what I feel like a lot of Holly Holm's fights have been ever since she's lost to Amanda Nunes, right? I think she doesn't want to take too much risk, but, wants to take the least amount of damage, but then also still win, right? And the UFC promotion really loves Holly Holm, and, they consider her as a star, right? Well, the UFC ended up, announcing a fight with Holly Holm, and then the other half of that fight, they signed, I would say she's more of a lightweight, but yes, she will be fighting at bantamweight against Holly Holm at UFC 300. They had signed Kayla Harrison to the UFC. Now, Kayla Harrison was with PFL. Her contract expired in January, right? There was a lot of talks whether or not is Kayla Harrison UFC caliber because she's beating up a bunch of cans in the PFL. And then you saw that she ended up losing to Larissa Pacheco, right? And then we're like, whoa, Larissa Pacheco might be that, that woman, right? She can just mess anybody up. Maybe she might be the real deal. And then we were supposed to see that again, but we didn't see it because this past year we ended up seeing Kayla Harrison fight Aspen Ladd. Now, Kayla Harrison, multi-winner of the PFL tournament. She's won, I think each tournament contains $1 million. So she's at least won $2, if not $3 million prizes from the PFL on top of, her regular purse. She had flirted with the idea at one point, signing with the UFC. And so they could have like a super fight between her and Amanda Nunes. That never transpired. And ever since PFL ended up buying Bellator, there was supposed to be a super fight, of the idea of Kayla Harrison fighting Chris Cyborg because they have beef. Now that's never going to happen. And so far, the co-leader, which is the PFL, because they view themselves as the co-leader, they have really fumbled the bag outside of signing Francis Ngannou. And they had this match between Chris Cyborg and Kayla Harrison. It never could come to fruition. They never re-signed Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison decides to leave, go to the UFC, wants to fight better competition, wants to fight the better prospects and contenders in women's bantamweight. Unfortunately, the women's featherweight division is non-existent. So Kayla Harrison has committed herself to cutting down to 135. She historically has been fighting at 155. I think a couple of times 145. Now her cutting down to 135 is going to be a real transition. How many times will she fight within the calendar year? Who will she be fighting? I feel like she's only going to be fighting big names. Within one win, will the UFC catapult her into a title shot opportunity? I feel like a lot of these things are in place. And then how do you think she's going to look when she gets in the ring with a UFC fighter? Because not for nothing, I know she fought Aspen Ladd, and Aspen Ladd had high aspirations in women's bantamweight, but unfortunately, her missing weight and her being undisciplined led to her having to go up to featherweight, and then eventually, too many weight cut misses led to her being dismissed by the UFC. Now, I want to see, can Kayla Harrison, how will she do at 135? She normally is, fighting at heavier weight classes. I want to also see, how she's going to be able to subdue Holly Holm. Holly Holm, she's not that leg kicker boxer that she was back in the day. She's going to really try to go for takedowns. And is Kayla Harrison going to go in there and just outmuscle her and grind things out? I feel like within one win, in my opinion, they might just catapult her because she's a big enough name, and that multiple MMA fans already have an idea on who she is, and maybe they can build her into this mega superstar that the PFL didn't have the resources to do. It's a very interesting fight. Definitely going to be watching it, obviously, because it's on UFC 300, but we'll love to see, how this is all going to play out. I'm very, very interested just because Juliana Pena, she's going to get the next title shot. If I'm Juliana Pena, I'm going to Dana White and I'm calling him saying, I need to fight immediately. Because if they don't get anything signed on the dotted line saying that Juliana is next, mark my words, they'll hold Raquel Pennington on ice to have Pennington versus Kayla Harrison if Kayla Harrison was to win. I'm telling you right now, they will do that. And then Juliana Pena is once again going to be, pushed to the side for his title opportunity. I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what's going to end up happening. But yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to discuss. Kayla Harrison is officially a UFC fighter, and she's on the roster. She will be fighting on April 13th, and if my memory serves correctly, at UFC 300 in Las Vegas. And can't wait to see the fight. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.